Hello and welcome to the Abundance Games program. This is an introduction for part 1, which focuses on the spirituality of abundance. My name is Dr. Pinky Feinstein. I'm a psychiatrist, but more than being a formal psychiatrist, I am a creator of self-healing programs. And this is, I believe, my most extensive, my biggest program I have created. And I made this program because I realized that there is a cultural disease related to abundance. And when I realized that this disease also affects me, I decided to stop blaming my father for my issues regarding to abundance and instead doing what I do best, creating a self-healing program. So this is where we are here. Thank you for joining me, joining us. And each section, part of the program contains 6 chapters. And we have 12 sections, that is 72 chapters. And now I would like to introduce you to section 1. Section 1 begins the journey, and this is a journey. I'm saying this is a journey because healing the abundance muscles, mental muscles, takes time. We have a cultural disease that I say from early childhood, from infancy, connects us to emotional states of deficiency. And we create core beliefs around deficiencies. And it takes time to fix this, to transform this deficiency state of mind into abundance, into a state where we feel that things do exist for us and we are not in such deficiency as we tend to believe. It takes time. These are real, deep-rooted core beliefs. But this change is possible because it is our nature, our healthy nature, to live in abundance. So this is a journey of returning to our nature, and it takes time. I need you to be patient and I need you to be persistent so this journey will succeed. So in this journey, we begin with part 1, the spirituality of abundance. As you will hear from me in the chapters of this section, I say many times that it is important to begin with spirituality because in many ways, although spirituality is about things that are not grounded, spirituality is the ground for our work. This is where we begin. We may say that spirituality represents what we are trying to go back to. We were born to this life, and I think that after a day or two, we began to participate in concepts of deficiency in this world. And in many ways, physically, emotionally, we experienced many states in which we didn't get what we totally needed. And we had to adapt and created addictions related to many states of deficiencies that we've had to face, that all people face from early childhood, from infancy. So spirituality may represent our true home, where we came from, to this planet Earth. And so this may also represent the ground, the place where we came from and the place that we are headed to, in our mind, here and now in this life. And you don't have to agree with all things I say here in all of the program, and especially about spirituality. Try to keep some open mindset. This will do. This will be enough for us. So after saying this, I would like to make some review of the coming 6 chapters about spirituality of abundance, and then later we'll go in more detail when we go through the chapters as the program begins. So chapter 1 will discuss the fact that many things are not in our control, probably most of them. And this chapter argues that we cannot rely too much on our left brain, although this is what we are used to do. And, there are many other programs that say that if you do 1, 2, 3, you have lots of money. Well, it doesn't work. It doesn't work. But many people are tempted to follow these programs, and it is as if there is one recipe or one formula, one logic formula that will attract clients, that will make you abundant, and it doesn't work. It doesn't work because we are talking here about what I call a disease, emotional problem, emotional disharmony, emotional, spiritual, practical disharmony. And as long as we try to rely on our left brain to cope with this, we will stay at the same place. We will not grow from this place. There is no one formula that if you follow, you become abundant. Abundant is emotional freedom that we need to gain after do work. And this is what we do here. We do a right brain work. And some of it may be things you agree with me, understand, and some of it you will just need to let it go into your brain while you let go of control. Left brain is about trying to control reality. Right brain is more about creating with reality and later creating reality. And for this to happen, and this is what we need to take place here, we will need to let go of some of control and realize that letting go of control is creating a new sense of flow and control. And this will be understood later a bit more, but this is where we begin. This is chapter 1. Chapter 2 says, what do I believe in? What is my spiritual direction? In this chapter, I am trying to challenge your beliefs. I'm not trying to change your beliefs. I'm trying to challenge them so you can check if your current beliefs, if your current faith supports your process towards abundance. And all we need is just to challenge our faith, just to check it, not to be stuck with the same concepts always, because a huge part of the change is related to our faith. And if, for the success of this process, we need to update our faith, not to change it, not to replace it, to update it, to expand it, to challenge it, this is what we'll do. There are spiritual concepts that we may want to check how we feel about them. For example, the connection between us and the rest of the world. The fact that we are a part of a big net, that every change that we do in our life affects others and vice versa. This is a spiritual concept. Do we agree with this concept? Can we feel it? Can we connect to it? This is just one example that is related heavily to being abundant. You're not abundant by yourself. Being abundant means expanding your core so it will affect more other people. We are a part of a net. Does your faith interact with this notion? We will check this. We will challenge our faith, and it's important for us always to challenge our faith, to challenge our beliefs, not to stay in the same place. Abundance is not about staying at the same place. It's about expanding what we have. Chapter 3 we'll talk about the practical and emotional value of prayer. And it's not about, praying to God. I have no problem with praying to God. I talk to God every day. But it is other kind of a prayer that we will use here. Here we will use special texts that I have created for this process and for other processes that help us ignite some forces inside us that we cannot control, that are beyond our understanding, that are in our right brain, in our unconsciousness. We do it through reading out loud prayers that are related to the topics that we work on. For example, the spirituality of abundance. We would like our emotional body to start working with us. We would like our spiritual body to work with us, to join all this effort together. How we do it? It doesn't come from some logical work. It comes from emotional, spiritual work. And this is what we do when we pray. This prayer connects our consciousness to our unconsciousness, and new ideas and new goals are inserted inside, so our abundance muscle or mental muscles can start getting a little bit more free than they used to be. So we use the prayer, the special kind of prayer, to facilitate the change that we want to implant in our unconsciousness. And this change is all about freeing our natural muscles of abundance, muscles that we came to life with, but had to forget because we came here to a place with so many deficiencies that made us forget what we already knew when we came here. So the prayer helps us remember. Chapter 4 will tell you to notice the help that comes and the one that doesn't. I will talk a lot about the fact that being abundant means being connected. In fact, we may even replace the words if we want, but abundance resonates good with our growth, so we will stick to abundance. But in fact, being abundant means being connected better. And being in deficiency, that means a very low level of connection between us and the rest of the life, between parts in us also. So, I'm telling you in chapter 4, notice the help that comes and the one that doesn't, which means we will ask ourselves whether everything around us, all our life, the surrounding, doesn't matter, the world, God, the universe, do we feel there is a positive response to our projects, to our initiations, to the things we try to do, to our service? Do we feel there is a positive, a good response that reflects that we do something that is connected from our inside, from our passion, to other people's needs and benefit? And there are times that we will get this response, and it may be a good sign, a good spiritual sign that we are in the right path. And there are times in which we don't get this response. We will want to ask ourselves, is this a sign that we may stuck in a deficiency path and not be aware of it? So the world around us will help us notice, will help us realize if we are connected to our abundance path, or maybe we need to do some changes. This is also a spiritual concept, to realize that life would like to guide us to the right place. And it will also guide us through its response and feedback. And if we just stay frustrated because we are not giving the right feedback and response, we don't do any good. We don't make any progress as far as abundance is concerned. We would like to learn spiritually. We would like to learn from the response that comes from the outside, and from there to make our own updates and changes. Chapter 5 will be about the importance of faith without giving up the work and initiation. I will talk there about the dance of of these two energies, of expanding our faith, updating our faith, so it will serve us in the process of awakening our abundance muscles, and at the same time to be there, to make the attempts, to make the initiations, to make our mistakes, to fail and try again, to do the work. Work is grounding, faith is going spiritually, but it is always important to remind us that we need to be in both places. We need to dance between this feminine pole of faith and masculine pole of work. Both of them need to get married. Both of them need to cooperate. None of them should be neglected. So if we rely too much on faith and don't do enough work, we won't progress. And if we do too much work and don't update our faith, we won't make much progress. We need to remember this, especially when we discuss the spirituality of abundance. Chapter 6, the last chapter of this section, the abundance alliance between man and God. This is something very general, something that it is not easy to to realize, to feel, to acknowledge. It's not easy to know or to see or to sense that we have a kind of alliance between us and the rest of the things, universe, world, God. But this is the concept I'm offering you, that there is alliance between you, specifically you, each one of you, each one of us, and the God we may believe exists, or the universe, or all that there is, whatever resonates with your spiritual concepts. There is an alliance. There is a common interest. So when you expand, everything expands. And when everything expands, you also expand. So we are in a kind of a deal, a mutual business, and we help each other. It's not just that we ask for God's help, we also help God by fulfilling our program. And it's important to know, because actually we are never alone there. Even if we start alone, we feel that our dreams, our fantasies are only in our mind. Well, it is not exactly true, because when we fulfill our dreams, it means better service to people. So our dreams may at first be our asset, but eventually they are part of the alliance with God and all the rest of the things around us. This is section 1. This is what we are about to work and discuss and challenge in the first section. Before I end this long introduction, I would like to present a word that I have created through preparing these 6 chapters. I needed a word, because in Hebrew I have one word, hayesh, the word that describes everything that exists, or everything that exists around us and everything that exists inside us. And this word is very important for abundance. And I don't find this word in English. So I had to invent a word that we will use during this process. And I have no doubt that you will intuitively know what I mean by this word. The word that I have created is having. My having H-A-V-I-N-G, not H-E-A-V-I-N-G. It's not heavy. It's having, what I have inside me. My emotional, creative, spiritual core that we need to activate in order to be abundant. This core contains my true creative skills that once activated, I can live more in abundance and less in deficiency. And this word having will represent everything that we may want to put in this description of our DNA, creative, spiritual core. You see, I use so many words, so we will, from time to time, also use this word, and I hope you can connect easily to this concept. Thank you for being here. If you stay here, if you work with me throughout all the process, you will feel, you may even feel right now some new tinglings. You will feel and you will see how abundance becomes a part of your life. It's a spiritual process, it's an emotional, psychological process, it's a creative and practical process. Welcome. Let's start the work.